which means as you pick your foreman of this 23, you then sign a bill that says the true bill, which means I've proved my matter. I then, the foreman hands it out that door to the sheriff, who's got to go and arrest the person on the indictment. And that can be the Governor-General. That can be every Attorney-General. And that includes John Howard, because he was charged before he stood down. You getting the drift? That's what you call jump out of the tunnels and get straight at them. Instead of doing all this committee meeting in the tunnel. Because they don't work. That doesn't work. I took a couple of pastors into William Street the other week. And I said, standing on this side of William Street, which is the main street that goes through the Supreme Court door, I said, standing on this side of the street, the Supreme Court knows that you people will never walk in that door and take them on. Because this is what a Freemason master said to me one time. And on this day, his conscience obviously hit his head. He said, Mr. Shaw, the only kingdom above us is the kingdom of God. Now what he was saying subliminally is our Masonic kingdom. If the people from that kingdom will walk in here and tell us we're wrong, we've got to listen, but Mr. Shaw, you're the only one here. And I didn't look around the shoulder to see where the cavalry was. Because I knew exactly what he was saying. He was saying we can get away with what we're getting away with because they don't know what we're doing. And that's the point I'm making when I say to you, if you do not know your state constitution or your Commonwealth constitution, you are dead in the water. And it's not up to a lawyer to tell you how to do it, because I'll show you why here. This is the Courts and Tribunals Legislation Further Amendment Act. Remember what I said, treason is breach of allegiance? This Act was assented to, it was introduced into the Victorian Parliament and assented to on 5th of September 2000. It was introduced by our Attorney General, signed off by our Governor. And look at what it did at the next page. Part 2, Legal Practice Act. Now this includes every officer of the Supreme Court of Victoria, which is the lawyers, which is the registrars, which is the judges, and every law firm in Victoria. Oath of allegiance no longer required. Well, I have a problem with that. Didn't they have to come to us? I was in the Supreme Court just recently on a civil matter, and the new master, they call him Associate Justice, he donkey dropped a family I knew that took $4 million off him a few years before, and he said to me, Mr. Shaw, do you wish me to stand down because of my involvement in another matter? I said, no, it'll be okay, because in the next minute you're going to be placed under arrest for treason. So don't worry about standing down. All hell broke loose. But am I on good grounds? Because I said for 10 years, you've been practising law illegally in this state as a barrister and now as a judge with the oath of allegiance out. So you can refund every dollar to every client, and in the meantime you've breached the allegiance. You're under arrest for charges of treason. Have a good day. That's your right. That is your right. And most people don't understand that right, because Halsbury Laws of England state, which is high authority in any court in this country, any person can be arrested without warrant where treason is involved. Now if you want to let them stand on this law and what you call piandering about it, I want to give you a lesson here relative to the High Court. I think I've categorically proved that West Australia removed the Crown in the period 2003-2004. I'm not going into all the evidence here. I'm trying to make it short. But who is your current Chief Justice of the High Court? Where did he come from? Who said WA? Correct. Before or after the Crown was removed? Now, hello folks, what does that just do to the High Court? You can't drive the getaway car to the bank robbery. So if you're going into the High Court, asking the High Court to do an adjudication, They're already out of jurisdiction. And if you continue to do that, you're continuing to perpetrate the fraud. But the President of the full court of the Supreme Court, I use the word full court, because that's the jurisdiction of grand jury work. It's not the Court of Appeal. When they sit to hear your application, it's the full court. It's not the Court of Appeal. So you're not appealing a matter, you're taking it in as a primary matter. Now the application must go to the full court of the Supreme Court. They can only look at the words of the charge. They're not allowed to enter the evidence, and does that cheese them off? Because the moment they enter into the evidence, they're performing the role of the grand jury, and they don't have jurisdiction for that. You follow me? It's law you've never heard before, but that's why Ray asked me to come up. Because you get it all over there, it's the Brian-Shaw charge, whatever. First off, work out why did I do that? And what is the offence of treason? Breach of allegiance. Can I prove where the allegiance was breached? Well, here's an act out of Victoria in September 2000 that took the oath of allegiance from the Legal Practice Act. Now that means every master, judge, registrar, lawyer in Victoria is taking money from their client without telling them they ain't got the oath of allegiance in there. So how the hell are they signing the legal practitioners agreement? I got an argument with my own lawyer. I said, you took $26,000 out of the legal trust fund to pay yourself. Because you know we haven't got a legal practitioners agreement signed. Now if you haven't got one of them, whistle Dixie beyond $750. That's the law. Because you know I won't sign it, because I'll make you put on the bottom, I have full knowledge the oath of allegiance is removed from the Legal Practitioners Act, which makes the lawyer null and void. Well, you're not going to do that. And I said, so you can put that 26 grand back. Well, you're going to be in big trouble when I go to the Legal Practice Board, but the problem is the Legal Practice Board is the one who told them to take it out. You're getting the point? And the point is, where was the Aussie while they were all doing this? Why are they doing it to the Legal Practice Act? Because everyone says, oh, we've got a constitutional problem. We'll have to get a lawyer. Well, hello, you just got a lawyer who's out of jurisdiction. What are you going to tell you? So that's fraud. Fraud in the first instance, and it's beautiful when you find fraud, because fraud then takes two branches. You can take on an issue in fraud and a civil writ, and you can extend fraud into criminal automatically. I was in front of the full court of the Supreme Court one time. Chris Maxwell is the president of that court, and he said to me, it was a furphy. He said, Mr. Shaw, the only way this can be, this is in the High Court. I said, Your Honour, with respect, I might be a farmer, but I'm not a bloody idiot. And he said, what do you mean by that? I said, because you just told me a lie. I said, where treason or misprision of treason is I said the High Court has got no jurisdiction for that, because it's got no jurisdiction for it. I said the only jurisdiction to deal with those two twin offences is a grand jury jurisdiction. Now this is what it says in a Victorian matter in about 1899. It's Byrne versus